Hey Flosstube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jen and this is my fiber web where I talk about my crafty adventures, mostly cross-stitch, sometimes knitting, and crochet. This is episode 28, I think. I never say what episode it is. But this is going to be a wrap-up of everything I worked on in the second half of November. Today's December 2nd. I'm not going to include yesterday and today in this video, so end of November. So I have a few finishes, some whips, and a couple new starts as well. If you did not see my last video, it was a recap of all of my starts this year because I am approaching 100 starts, which sort of happened by accident. So I'm going to be telling you what number start it is from here to the end of the year to see when I hit 100. And also, if you're new here, I have seen a bunch of new people joining the channel. Welcome. I'm Jen. I just turned 40 this year. I live in northern Illinois. It is freezing. I think it's like 15 degrees outside right now. I'm married. I have 3 boys, and I have this dog Bear who steals the show quite often with his epic napping. He's like the most patient and gentle and awesome dog ever. Okay, so let's get started with my finishes. One of my finishes was a start and finish that I can't show you yet because it was a like a smalls exchange for the Fandom Stitching Central group. So I have sent that off. I sent it like a week ago. It has been delivered, but I don't know if the recipient has opened it yet, and I have no idea if this person watches my channel. So I'm just going to be safe and wait to show you that. I did take some pictures. So that was one of my finishes. The next thing that I finished was Hemlock by Lindsay Swearingen. This is from this Magickal Cross-Stitch book. So I started this September 30th. And I pulled this out the other day and got it finished up. So this is on, I think it's a 28 count. The color is Malachite by Fiber on a Whim. So the model for this is stitched on black fabric, and Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe started this. I think I started it the same day as her, and she did hers on a light fabric, and I think it looks good on all of them, and I love it on this green. And I have not trimmed my fabric because I think I'm going to put a couple other charts from this book on this fabric eventually. But yeah, I'm very happy with that. I would like to frame this one so I can hang it on the wall, but I don't have a frame picked out yet. This is the one that I thought I could stitch in one day, and it ended up taking me 3 days, so that was close. And then the other one that I pulled out was one of my October starts. And this is the Cranky Owl by Modern Folk Embroidery. So I used a Pirate and Robin overdyed thread called Rust. And I used 2/1 on this 14 count fiddler's cloth. And I love how he turned out. He's grumpy and adorable and reminds me of Archimedes from The Sword and the Stone. And I was sort of on the fence. I started doing the outside and all this like foliage, and I wasn't sure if I was going to do the owl the same color or pick like a darker like coffee brown to do him, but I am glad I decided to go with the same color. I think he looks awesome. So that is the Cranky Owl. So those are my 3 finishes. I'll have to remember to show you the smalls exchange at some point. I'll keep it on my show notes so I don't forget. Okay, so let's do whips next. So one of the first whips that I worked on is this full coverage piece. This is Skogafoss number 2, I believe. This is by Stephanie of Cross Stitch the Globe. It is part of her Cross Stitch of Ice and Fire booklet. Let's see. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I know I'm over 10% complete with this. I'm not sure the exact percentage. And I am doing this one like extreme cross country. So I'm picking a color and doing every single stitch in the chart of that color before I move on to the next one. And I am starting with the colors that are used the least and working up to the ones that are used the most. And it is 2/110 stitch on this. I think this is 28 count easy grid. So this one is very fun to work on. I want to get this one back in my nerd hoop and put some more stitches in. And then the next whip that I have been working on is Prairie Wind by Carolyn. I don't think I need to show you the cover page anymore because it is getting very close to being done. I think I'm almost to 90%. I'm down to only 2 colors. So I was also color completing on this one. And the 2 colors are both sort of creamy, tan, sort of boring colors. But that's okay. This is my favorite piece to work on if I'm in a like stitchy Zoom, or I think I worked on this a lot at Midsummer Stitch, so if I go to Jingle Ball, I will probably have this out. I do want to get this done by the end of the year, and I'm still very much on track to do that. I think I have about 4,000 stitches left, which is totally doable because this goes really fast. I've worked on this in a few Zooms, and in a 2-hour Zoom call, I got 600 stitches twice now in 2 hours, so this one should be done soon. And I have a bunch more of these waiting in my collection to be started after this. I don't know if I'm going to start one right away, but anyway, the next 2 projects I have to show you are pieces that I brought out because it started snowing here. One day it snowed like all day long, and it actually accumulated. There was like a few inches on the ground. Crazy pants. But then the next day it all melted. And then we had one other day since then with like flurries, but no accumulation. So on Instagram I had put up a poll about which piece should be my snow day stitch this year. I'm going to show you both of them because I worked on both. They are 2 of my oldest whips. They're both started in 2022. So I thought that they would be perfect to just get some stitches in here and there. So the one that won the poll on Instagram was White Winter Moth by Kathy Barrick. I am doing this with the called for DMC, not the NPI silk. And I've got a piece of 40 count vintage country mocha. So let me get this thing to put behind it. So like I said, I've worked on it both days that it snowed, and each day I put in a strand of that B5200 in the Moth. So when I say a strand, I mean like a meter long piece of B5200 that I cut in half, so it's kind of like 2 strands, because this is 1/2 on 40 count. And yeah, I'm going to focus on getting the Moth done first, because all that white was sort of stopping me from wanting to work on this. So every time it snows, I'm going to work on the Moth until that's done, and then I'll move out to the other motifs. Yeah, I like stitching on this one. I'm excited to have it as a finished piece. So hopefully it snows a lot this year so that I have a forcing function to work on this. This is one of those ones that I really love, but for some reason it doesn't call to me very often. Okay, and the other one that I had on my list, or on my poll, was this Dimensions kit called Winter Gathering. So this one obviously is a bit Christmassy because they have stockings and all of their hats are red and green. But I really like how the trees look in the background. The trees are half stitch, and it makes it really look like it's snowing, and it's making it sort of blurry behind the little burbs. So that's what I worked on. I worked on some of the background trees. I think like this down here is new, and some of this stuff. And maybe this one too. I don't remember exactly. And I'm using all the kit materials for this. So this is I think it's a 14 count. Yeah, 14 count light blue Aida. And then I'm using the kit threads 2/1. So that one is not my official snow day piece, but I do want to keep that one out and get some progress on it this winter. Okay, and then after I did my video that was recapping all of my starts this year, a couple people said they wanted to see some more progress on SAGA. So I did get that put onto a scroll frame. And I think I put like one length of floss into here. This is 1/1 on a 28 count Fiber on a Whim Moonstone. So yeah, 1/1 full cross, so my stitches are teeny tiny, and I am using a Silks For You variegated silk. And I copied Andrew the runner stitcher and started in the same corner as him, but obviously have not made it nearly as far. He's on track to get this done in 4 years for his Long Dog Leap Day. So now that this is in the scroll frame, I'm hoping that that will make me want to pull it out a little bit more often. I had this in my Ravelry stand, and it was nice to work on that way. I am a little close to the top up here because I didn't give myself a huge margin. So that's a little bit annoying to stitch right along this top edge. But if I work down here, it will be okay. Alright, and then the last whip that I have to show you is another one of my older ones. This is, I think it's called Mini Bouquet Booklet now, by Jeannette Douglas. When I got these charts, she was releasing them for free once a month as like, I think it was called like a year of mini bouquets or something like that. So the way that these were released, you could stitch them as pincushions and have a little border around each one. Or Jeannette gives you a layout with a border around the outside edge and separating the rows if you want to do them all together as a sampler. So I think I don't remember if she was releasing these in 2022 or when they came out, but I got all of them while they were being released for free, and I was working on them one at a time in their month, but I wanted to finish these in 2022, I think, and it didn't happen. So then I had it on my list in 2023 to finish them in the months that they were supposed to be in, and I didn't do that either. So when I pulled this out the other day, this June jar was partially done, so I finished that up, and I did complete July, and these go pretty fast. Like, it was one evening and a little bit the next morning to finish this one and do this whole thing, and I also put in the bones for these two borders, and I think I brought this one down a little bit. It wasn't quite as far down. So it goes quickly. It's not a ton of stitches, but there are a lot of color changes. And when I started this, I did not have a full set of DMC yet, and the whole thing is charted to use overdyed flosses, but they do provide, Jeannette provides a DMC alternative, but I didn't even have those, so I was just like finding the closest color I could from Stash. Now I have the full set, so it's easier to find the colors that I need. So I'm still hoping maybe I can get this done by the end of the year. If I just put one of the bouquets in here and there this month. But maybe that's crazy. I don't know. I only got 5 left, and then the border. We'll see. It would be nice to finish it, or at least to get this border in so I can do the December one this month. That would be nice. And this is also on 40 count Vintage Country Mocha, and I'm doing it 1/2. Yes, this is very pretty and delicate, and you can buy this as a whole booklet now, I believe. I'm not sure how much it is or anything. Okay. So those are all the whips that I've worked on, and then I did have 3 new starts. So when I did my new start video, I was at 91 starts for the year. So if you want to see my first 91 starts, you could go back to my last video. I'll put the little clicky linky thing on here. So start number 92 is this Precious Moments Make a Joyful Noise kit. I am not a big Precious Moments person, but this one in particular I just thought was very cute. And I was making some lists of things I wanted to start in December to get to 100 starts. This was not on the list, but I just decided I needed to start it. I don't know. So I started working on her dress and apron. I'm using all the kit materials for this. So there you can kind of see where I started. I started in the center and worked my way down around the apron. And I did want to say this kit is actually pretty nice because I had to sort the floss myself, but they had the floss in 4 different bundles, and they tied in with the floss a little piece of yarn, 4 different colors of yarn, and then they tell you the bundle with the green yarn has these 6 colors of floss, the bundle with the pink yarn has these 6 colors, so it makes it easier to match everything up. So I thought that was really nice. I'd never seen that done before. This says designs by Gloria and Pat. I'm not sure. Oh, it's a Janlin kit. So that was start number 92 for the year. Start number 93 for the year is a modern folk embroidery reproduction sample order. I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. It's Mary. It looks like Mary Wereat. Wereat? I don't know. This is my start. I'll put the picture up of what it will look like when it's done. I was looking for something to start for my birthday in March, and this was one of the ones on the list. And as soon as I started considering it, I was like, I just want to start it now. So I started it. This is on Bestitch Me Sand Dollar, 32 count linen, which I think is my, this was my November fabric of the month. So it's not this big. It's not a very big sampler, but yeah, there's my start. So it was after I started working on this one that I pulled Hemlock out to finish, because this one kind of reminded me of Hemlock with the color palette, and then it made me feel guilty that I was starting something new instead of finishing something. So that's why I finished Hemlock. So I only worked on that one for like part of one day. And then I have seen a few times, and I saw again, Carolyn from Evertote is running a stitch along for MommaLovesYouGB's Hannah Attwater. And when I saw, like, I had seen that sampler on Michelle's YouTube channel, and I really liked it. And I was sort of resisting doing it because it's kind of big, and I haven't done a lot of traditional samplers, like reproduction sampler style stuff. But this one in particular is really cool because of all of the floral motifs, and they're all like laid out pretty evenly. It's not like a typical sampler, and I really like the border and just like the simplicity of the font, and I just really liked it. So this weekend I decided to join in that Sal, and Michelle in the write-ups gives you some, she gives you a DMC color that is a close match to the fabric that she suggests, and it says in there, or choose something wilder, I think, and I went with wilder. So I started this, also I only worked on this for like 10 minutes. This is 40 count kiwi linen by Fiber on a Whim. So I also have my Monster House by Satsuma Street on kiwi, but that piece of kiwi that I have is much brighter than this one. This one's a little more pale. It doesn't look super pale here, but that's kind of close to what it looks like IRL. I think the colors are going to look great on here, so it's not going to look, it's going to look very different than being on a neutral, but I'm very excited to work on this. So this was start number 95 for me for the year. So if you want to join this stitch along, there's a Facebook group, which I just got into but haven't posted anything yet. I wanted to get a little bit more done before I shared. I think this is actually the bottom. Yep, that's the bottom. So Caroline split this sampler up into 12 sections so that we can get it done in a year. And one of the options is like to do the whole border first and then do a couple of the floral motifs every month after that. And I think there's a third. I think there's 3 different options where she broke it up. The one that she is doing and the one that I decided to copy was to start in the bottom left corner and do the pieces of the border together with the motifs as you go. So ideally, I'm a month behind, so this started last month. So to catch up, I need to do like this bottom quarter of the border and then I think 2 motifs here, and then I need to get onto the December section. So we'll see if that happens. And this is charted to use, I think it's like 8 shades of DMC, which is what I'm using. I didn't have to change any of the called for on this fabric. So yeah, 95 starts, only 5 left to get to 100. A few older whips that I would like to get at least close to a finish by the end of the year. And then I did also start filming a little bit of footage yesterday and today that is sort of Flossmas style stuff. I have some yarn advent things going on. I have a self-striping advent sock kit from Woolens and Nosh. So there are 24 different colors of stripes in this self-striping skein of yarn, and the idea is like you keep the yarn in the bag that it came in so you can't see what color is coming next, and you stitch like 1 stripe a day to get through up till Christmas. It also came with like a mini skein if you want to do contrasting like heels, toes, and cuffs. So I did cast on the first sock yesterday and did the first stripe, and then I also have this Pancake and Lulu yarn advent, which is in this bag up here, and I opened the first color yesterday and the second one today, and I have started a wrap. So I will share those things in my December videos, which hopefully the first one will be coming soon. And then yeah, I'm going to try to do a little bit of a vlog style December like I did in October, but it might not be videos every single day. We'll just see what happens. December is kind of crazy anyway, and if you've been here for a while, you know that my youngest just started preschool. He actually is at his first day of preschool today. So our schedules are changing, things are shifting. So I'm just going to see how I feel and how things go, and I will share my December goings on with you when it makes sense. So I hope you are well and that you're getting some time to stitch and that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.